Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Orchard Overnight with your host, Tom Hanson here. Tonight we're going to be discussing all the Week 1 action, and going into Week 2 we're going to break down everything ahead. So thank you guys for tuning in, and let's jump into all the action. Tonight we're going to get started off with Joey Badass. Joey came out last week. He did pretty well. He was right on the dot with his projection of 24 points. He hit 24 points out there. Joey had some nice moves and some nice route running down the field. I really think Joey's starting to get deadly, and he's starting to get pretty nifty with that little wide receiver move. He's got the little cut back and forth once he gets behind somebody and he gets out into some open space. He's got great hands to capitalize and some good speed to kind of finish off some of his plays. So I definitely think Joey is showing signs of improvement and going up in the right direction at wide receiver. And Joey's been looking pretty good at the defensive side of the ball too. Played pretty good coverage on AJ this weekend. Didn't let him get a lot going on him. So I definitely think Joey had a great solid week for him. Like I said, right on the money with his projection. So I look forward to seeing Joey going into Week 2 out here. I know he's ready to stay consistent. This week he's projected 25 points. And me personally, I think Joey will hit 25 points, and I definitely think that he'll stay ahead of the game out here going into Week 2. So we'll definitely see what Joey can bring into this week. Next on our list is the man I just talked about, AJ the airplane. He came out, had a pretty solid week himself. His projection was 25 points, came up 1 point short. He hit 24 points, wasn't that bad, so he was almost right on the money right there with Joey. Still pretty solid day for him. He took flight early with an early touchdown that he took to the house on the first play of the game. But after that, pretty consistent, little catches, first downs. I think he had another touchdown or two after that on some long drives. So AJ definitely played solid this week on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, I like what he brought to the table. I like his speed out there in the backfield. I don't think he let up anything too big. He was definitely good at pulling flags this week. Out of a lot of people that weren't good at pulling flags this week, so I definitely give AJ some credit there. Unfortunately, AJ is going to be out this week. He's out of town this week, so he isn't on the off list this week. He's not going to be out there, unfortunately. We hope to see him back out there next week because he's definitely a fun player to watch out there, and I definitely think that he's got a good shot of making a good run this season. Next on our list is Al. Al came out this week. He was definitely savage out there on the defensive side of the ball. He was a sack master out there. I think he had 2 or 3 sacks. He was out there in the as a DB. He was covering the receivers. He was playing good defensive ball out there, swatting a lot of balls down, breaking up a lot of passes, causing even his pass rush when he didn't get sacks, he was causing disruption to the quarterback that caused interceptions in the backfield. So I definitely think Al was a monster on the defensive side of the ball this week. Offensive side of the ball, I definitely think Al needed some more opportunities given to him. I don't think Thomas hit him as much as he'd like, and other quarterbacks definitely didn't use Al to his potential as well. This week, Al only got 19 points, coming up short of his 24-point projection. But like I said, it's nothing that I don't think Al left anything out there on the table. There was one catch, I know. I talked to him after the game. He was upset that he dropped because he thought he was going out of bounds, but he didn't know that he was way inbounds, and he felt like he could have caught that. But I definitely think that's nothing to beat himself up about because he's made some more spectacular catches throughout Week 1, especially in the deep ball game on some good defenders like Michael and Jack. So I definitely think that Al, once he gets some more opportunities, his points will definitely go up because he knows how to capitalize on a play on the offensive side of the ball. So definitely a solid week for Al. His projection this week is 22 points. I definitely think if he comes out, plays like he did last week, and gets some more opportunities, he can definitely hit that projection. So I definitely hope to see Al come out this week. He looks like he's on the play-in roster, so he's going to be playing this week. He's in, so we'll see what he can do. Next on our list we have is Jack. Jack came out last week, Week 1, and he came up way short of his projection. Now, his projection was built pretty high off of his preseason debut. I mean, he just wrecked through the whole preseason, was the #1 ranked player in the preseason with the most points and everything. So, of course, he's going to come in to the season with the highest projection out of everybody. But what we didn't expect was for him to not even get half of his projection. So that was definitely a shock to some of us. He had a bit of a slow start. He definitely got it going midway through the game with a couple touchdown catches, I should say. But even near the end of the game, a couple more drops. He didn't end off like how he wanted to on a good note. Didn't start how he wanted to. Like I said, had a few touchdowns in the middle, but definitely a day Jack wishes he could have fixed some things. Not a terrible day because he did still have 20 points, like I said. But Jack was projected to have a little bit more of a better debut out there in week 1. So I definitely think Jack's going to reevaluate his game from week 1 and definitely turn around week 2. His projection this week is 33 points. I definitely think he played good defense out there. The thing about Jack is he plays such good defense and he plays all out on every play that, there's no subs in this league. So you get very winded if you don't really, get a break. And Jack, I just feel like he gets winded sometimes out there on defense, from playing so well and playing so hard on every play, which is very rare for a player. I give him credit to do that. I just think that was his only weakness near the end of the game, was kind of just getting a little tired. But other than that, pretty lockdown coverage from Jack. So Jack's one of those players I like to break down and evaluate because I just feel like he has so much potential and he's one of those players that, can kind of bounce around, in the standings. So I definitely like to keep an eye on Jack, and I definitely like to see him hit his projection this week, 33 points. I think Jack, somebody like him, knowing him personally, he'll get his head back on straight this week and at least get in the 30s near that projection. So I definitely think it's possible for him to hit that. So we'll see if Jack can come out and hit his 33-point projection. Next on the list we have is Thomas. Thomas came out last week putting up 52 points, fantasy player of the week, which was definitely a shock with guys like Jack, like I just mentioned, coming out of the preseason savaging, and guys like the G-Man coming off a 2-peat Super Bowl run in this league. So definitely a shock that Thomas came out, but not too much of a shock because he's definitely been a threat in this league for a while now, but was impressed. I definitely think the preseason was a good way for him to kind of get all that rust off because like we said, back in early preseason, he had a horrible preseason debut. So definitely like to see him turn it around in his regular season debut when it matters, so he's number 1 in the league right now, even though it's early, it's week 1, but definitely a good debut on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Definitely felt like he had a lot of good pass breakups and deflections on good receivers that he was covering, and he also had a pick 6 off the G-Man, which I think wasn't really the G-Man's fault. I mean, he's the one who threw it, but, at the same time, it seemed a little confusion out there with the route running, so you could throw it all on the offense, but still just good play by Thomas to pick it off and take that to the house. We almost saw Jack actually deflect that, so it's a good thing Jack didn't get a hand on that, and Thomas was able to snag that and take that to the house. So definitely impressed by Thomas's play this week. Week 2, Thomas is projected 43 points, so that's definitely a good little boost up from his 34 projection last week. So he's projected 43 this week. I definitely think Thomas will be able to hit around 43 points. I don't know if he's going to be able to get 50 burger again in the 50s or anything like that, but I definitely think the way he's been playing at the end of preseason and the start of this regular season, definitely think he's been playing in that range in the 40s. So that projection seems about right for Thomas. So we'll definitely see if Thomas can hit that going into week 2 of the regular season. Next on our list is the G-Man, Garrett. The G-Man came out this week, played very well in week 1, 40 points. Barely missed his projection of 43 points. He's another one, like we said, like Jack, where dominance kind of sets the standard high for him with the projections early in the season before it even begins. So 43-point projection, not too shabby to get to 40 points. Garrett looks like he's in the same form he's been in these past 2 seasons, in that championship form. So looked very good passing the ball. I did mention that one pick 6, like I already broke that down. But other than that, Garrett did look very well throwing the ball for the most part. Maybe 1 or 2 got away from him, but I think that's any quarterback in this league. But G-Man looked good. Playing wide receiver, he likes to swap out. He's like a flex player. He likes to play QB and wide receiver. Hands look good. Legs look good. He was running good this week. So everything looks good for the G-Man. Defense was pretty solid like always. Don't think he gave up too much, nothing that kind of raised an eyebrow or anything. So the G-Man definitely looks like he's in that same championship form, and definitely looks like he hopes to continue that going down the stretch in the regular season. But he will not be able to go and bring that out this week onto the field, because he's another one that will be out this week. He's out of town. He's off the roster this week. So he will not be out there week 2. Hopefully, like I said with AJ, hopefully we get both them back week 3. Definitely think we will. That won't be a problem, I don't think. But Garrett, he's definitely going to make a good run this season, so I don't think 1 week is going to hurt him at all. So we hope to see him back out there. He's a fun player to watch, just like many players out here, and we hope to see him out here soon. Next player on the list is Michael. Michael came out this week, and I think we were just talking about raising some eyebrows. Michael is the player that probably raised the most eyebrows this week, and that's just because he's just becoming an elite player now. He's starting to show that he can use his physical attributes to make a stance in the game now, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. I mean, offense, he's starting to make some good contested weird catches, like Michael's making these good catches. He's got speed to take things to the house nowadays. Even on the defensive side of the ball, Michael's pass breakups is just amazing now. Like, he's just blocking everything. Even Al, who usually gets the best of him, Michael was shutting him down for the most part with a lot of deflections off him. These ones that just couldn't get lobbed over him because he's got that height. So I feel like he's using, like I said, all of his physical attributes to his advantage now to become an elite player. He was projected 25. He hit 40. So that was definitely a good week for Michael. This week, Michael is projected 33 points. So I definitely think if Michael can keep playing like how he played in week 1 down the stretch, he's going to just keep going up. 33 won't even be a problem for him there, because I feel like he's going to get way more than that. The way I just feel like he's built for the game, So Michael, I give my hats off to him this week. Even though he wasn't the fantasy player of the week, I definitely think he was up there as like the most elite player this week, because like I said, he just made that extra push for whatever side of the ball he was on and whatever team he was on. So Michael, keep playing with your head on straight like you did last week, and good things are going to come out of it. Last but not least, we should say on the list, is JT. JT came out in his first rookie regular season debut out here. He had a deep touchdown early in the game that over Michael, who, like I just complimented, was playing great defense on everybody. So definitely a good touchdown off of a good defender right there. So that's something to pat himself on the back about. But other than that, JT had 13 points after that. So definitely a little shaky, going down the road for the rest of the day out there. I saw him take some snaps at QB. Don't think he was too successful at QB. I know at wide receiver he's having some success. He had 19 points this week, missing his 25-point projection. But I definitely think that's just him being new to the league and him getting, like I said, his feet in the door, getting a little more comfortable. His points are going to go up, down throughout the regular season. It's a long season ahead. He has plenty of time to progress and kind of mold into this league going down the stretch. But definitely see some positives to him, on both sides of the ball. Offense, he's definitely got an arm. If you can learn how to kind of rally that thing in and kind of get that on target. And I just think at wide receiver, he's got pretty good speed. If you can just capitalize on his catches and just take it to the house, he's got success there. He's got opportunities there on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, I feel like he's a pretty smart player. He learns pretty quick. So definitely think JT has a good shot of being one of the most improved players this season down the stretch. I feel like at the end of the season, we're going to say, hey, this kid definitely turned his game around from week 1 down the stretch, and he's definitely made a statement that he's in this league now and he's here to stay. So definitely excited to see JT out here week 2 and see him progress slowly but surely. He's projected 22 points this week. I definitely think, like I said, he's going to progress over time. So I definitely think he can hit 22. That's definitely good enough of a progression step for him this week. And I like to see him come out here and hit that for sure and gain some confidence and gain some momentum going down the stretch. So it's going to be an exciting week. We got a couple players out, like I said, but a lot of players in. And those players, they come to play. So they always put on a show. So that's all I got tonight for Orchard Overnight Podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in like always to this new segment. Hopefully, like I said, we get Orchard Fantasy Football Live going back again some of these nights, even though I'll be doing some of the podcast on here. We definitely want to get some in-studio action going soon, so we'll keep you updated on that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys have a great night. We'll see you on the field out there this weekend. Peace out.